Just a minute, I just sending you the study guide right now. All right, so I just sent the study guide in the group chat. And also,
Yeah, I get it.
Let's see if I have that other thing for you.
Don't forget the terminology and the other stuff that you said.
Oh yeah. I'll put that together for you after. I've written on that.
Okay.
Anyway, I will look for it for you afterwards. Should be somewhere in my email there, but looks like it's a little bit far. All right, I'll find it for you afterwards. Okay, let's get back to that. Okay. All right, so we were looking at the telephone number, right? I was asking Kendall, that business card, you imagine distributing it where? In Dominica, outside of Dominica, anywhere? What is your primary intention for it?
Dominica, yes.
Within Dominica, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have two suggestions. You can go with either or. So for one, I would take out the PHO colon coming out. I would remove the +1. Yeah, for sure. The reason is you only use the +1 if you call in from outside, right? Outside of Dominica, right? And if you depend on where you're calling from, it's actually not 1. It might be 0, and it might be 011, it might be 001, depending on the area that you're calling from in the world, right? So rather than put it in, I would leave that for them to figure out, right? You can't leave the +1. Most times they would figure it out, but then it's just an additional number that they would have to figure out what to use based on where they're calling from anyway, okay? And then the second thing, for the area code, again, if you're doing it for strictly local, and you know that the card is not going to make it anywhere outside of Dominica, you could actually just take up the area code, because the entire island uses the same area code. You don't have to repeat it. And what removing those things would allow you to do is you will have more space for your text, your phone numbers, right? So you would be able to make that content a little bit bigger on the card. All right. And if you wanted to put the area code in, what I would recommend, again, is not a must, but I would put it in brackets just to indicate that it is an optional feature, right? An optional number that you dial if you need to use it. And usually you don't need to do that to be calling from outside of the area network. All right. Another thing that I find now, while the card does look good, I find you sort of deviated a bit from the original layout. In terms of the blue, yeah, the main colors on the brochure is blue and orange, right? But on the card is pretty much just orange. If it wasn't for the blue in the logo, you actually have no blue in there, or almost no. I see some little thing in the background. Yeah.
I was thinking adding blue, but I think, add it again.
All right, I think maybe a little bit of blue, even though it's to make the white background blue, or you see those lines that you have to make it blue, just so that it can look like it belong with that a little bit more.
What I would do at least to not just completely take out the white is probably like put like a half blue, half white, and
Half
for the
blue, half white,
background.
right?
For the
Yeah.
background.
Similar to how you have it there with the orange and the image, but throw in a little blue, so at least you can tell that it's the same thing. Yeah. Another thing that I would have done, especially if you're trying to make them look uniform, is the fonts. So you use what is that? Arial rounded, Helvetica rounded.
Looking like suns.
Anyway, you use a rounded font on the brochure, but then on the business card you use the rather square font. You realize that, right?
That's a good tip.
Yeah. So it sort of makes it look even more like we're looking at a whole completely different a whole different business, a whole different marketing, rather than something that should be flowing seamless from the brochure. Yeah. So I would standardize the fonts. Also, something else that I see, for those icons, you use bitmap images, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fairly certain that online, if you had looked, you could get those same images as either as smart objects or as vector objects that you could use, and they would actually render in a much better quality. And I'll show you what I mean.
Question.
Yes. Right.
You can adjust the resolution of those objects.
You can always adjust the resolution of those of the objects that you're working with. But if you're talking about bitmap based objects, increasing the resolution doesn't necessarily mean increasing the quality. If you understand what I mean. Yeah.
All right.
So really and truly, you want to start. That's why you want to start working with the highest resolution first, right? And then you scale it down if you need to, rather than the other way around. But look at what I mean. If you look at the telephone icon and the email icon, you see how they look almost crisp, right?
They call me a different thing.
Yeah, I know. I realize that. But look at the address icon or the location. You realize that as we zoom up, it gets much blurry, almost like it doesn't even fit in with the other two, right? You can tell it come out somewhere different. And also the top of it, I'm almost fairly certain that it's supposed to be rounded. But you see how we have that flat top right at the top there?
Yeah, that is right, because those two on top,
Uh-huh.
they come in one pack by itself.
They come in one pack.
But the one below now, come in a separate pack.
Okay. Now, if you had gotten all of them as vectors or as smart objects, they could have been in a separate pack, and we wouldn't have been able to tell like such a drastic difference in quality between the two. You understand? Like that one, we can almost count the dots that make up the image, and these look pretty crisp. So you want to maintain that quality, the quality that you have on the telephone and email across all of your elements, so that they look uniform. That right now, that location icon, I would probably just take it out and replace it with something else that would either be of a higher raster quality or vector. Okay. Yeah. But in terms of the layout, I like it. I like the addition of the logo on the little crest. That would have to be the final one you have to get from the client on that, but I like it. It's just that I find it's rather orange, and they don't get any of the blue that I expect to see from them and the font. So that's my.
Also, the badge not really looking centered in the box. I don't know. Just
That is true. I didn't even notice that. It does not look center in the box. Not at the top and
Yeah, I realize it.
or left and right. So again, that is something that you remember how you use your guides, right? Now let me show you something on alignment. Oh shit, sorry. Let me switch
What I just do is I just make a selection, and in that selection I'll use the move tool, and it have like with the move tool it have like presets at the top of Photoshop to make it center or something like that.
To align the objects.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just run through a couple methods that you can use for alignment, right? So for one, when you have your background layer, it's gonna fill that random color. Right? So when you have your background layer and your snap option, you guys remember the snap option, right? So you can snap to guides, snap to layers, snap to grid and document bounds. So once you have snap enabled and your background layer is not locked, you actually can pull out a guide from your ruler and have it snap to the center of your document. So right now, where these two lines cross is the exact center of my document, right? Now, if I were to be making a circle, right? Now that's a perfect circle. Just join holding down the shift, right? Move it on top, right? And if I wanted to get it in the center, you see that little center icon right there? That center handle,
Yeah.
center point. I remember the exact name for it. But all you want to do is align it pretty much, and it'll snap as well. So you just drag it close to the center and it'll figure out where it needs to be. And so that can be that's aligned perfectly center.
Also, I found out that the later versions of Photoshop have like a built-in guide to the move tool. So it's kind of similar to Adobe Illustrator, where it's like, let's say you have like a square in your document, and you want to put something center inside the square, like it would Adobe Illustrator would snap it into the center for you if you're moving it into it. If you understand.
Well, that is the snap. That's the snap option.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in the later versions of Photoshop they have that built in, whereas the older versions don't have it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, remember we specifically training for CC 2019.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
2019 it's enabled by default. So we don't have to worry about it. Even on 2019, in terms of drawing the proportional shapes, the perfect squares and perfect circles, I don't think you have to hold on shift to do that. I think you have to hold shift to freeform them, but they will automatically draw in the proper ratio straight out of the box. So that is a few differences between the operating systems.
Okay.
Another way that you can use to easily align objects. So we were just using our guides to align it center with the background, or you can align center on any other object. But if we have two objects, like right now I have a circle and I have a square, and I wanted to align them, right? If I select both objects and with my move tool selected, if I go up to the options bar at the top, you guys see these options here?
Yeah.
Right. This one here aligns the vertical centers, right? And this one here aligns the horizontal centers. So if I press one followed by the other, so press the first one, right? We arrive at this. So that is a perfectly aligned circle and square, where the square is directly in the center of the circle. And we didn't have to do any measurements to do that. We simply align the vertical and horizontal centers, and we achieve the same thing. Right? With the same alignment tools, you could align them at the top, right? You could align them at the bottom, you could align them on either side. Right? So these shortcuts, you what?
I didn't know you could do that though.
Right. Well,
like click two layers and send them.
Yeah, well, try it out. When you have multiple layers selected, use the options you have to have the move tool selected, right? And the options will allow you to automatically align it in different ways according to your needs. And then you can align it to your document as a whole. So once you get them aligned the way you need to, you can link it, you can group it depending on what you have in mind for the graphic, right? And then you can work with it as one object, basically from that point. Okay. But yeah, in general, I like the card. I would just want to see the font match, the colors match a little
Yeah.
bit.
I
didn't think of it. I didn't think of the font.
Okay.
It makes
It's not,
sense.
I would say it's not that the colors not matching. It's just that
No, it's not matching, just to get the little blue. As a matter of fact, we don't even need the whole blue background. It would probably, I would need to see it, but it would probably be fine with just those. You see the line underneath Business Training Center and the line underneath Now Accepting Applications. I would put those in blue. Right? I only just realized though that on the business card you have no accepting applications. I'm not sure that will be applicable on the business card. You understand why?
Be honest, if I had nothing to put there.
Yeah, because remember so if you're doing the brochure and you're doing recruiting, you do a brochure for recruiting and you put now accepting applications, probably you'd have the application form on it, you have a list of courses that they probably offer, right, within it. But the business card is really just to give the contact information for the business. Now you could put a promotion on it, but the question is, you accepting applications now because it's summertime and you're recruiting for September, right? But when you're giving out your card in the end of September, are you still accepting applications in the middle of the school term? You get what I'm saying? So it makes your card perfectly applicable for one scenario at one time of the year, but then at other times of the year, that whole part of the card is pretty much not applicable. Although it could apply all through the year, because you could always accept applications for the next time, for the next class, no matter how far away it is. But I don't think it would be necessary to put it on the business card specifically. Yeah. You could probably put, rather than now accepting applications, what would work better is BTC does a number of different courses from a number of different accreditation sources, universities, right? For instance, they do Adobe ACA, they do QuickBooks, they do some courses at Pearson VUE, they do some colleges like Cambridge colleges and so on.
All of what we said, they're not under the Pearson VUE, the Pearson VUE catalog.
No. Some of them are on the Pearson VUE, some of them are on the Certiport. For instance, I know the ACA exam that you're going to be doing are on the Certiport. If you were doing computer repair, that would be on the Pearson VUE. If you're doing like marketing, for instance, I think that would be either Cambridge or one of the other universities. So they have different universities that they're accredited with, different sources. What would work better on the business card is probably their logos, or at least a reference saying that you can get accredited from those different sources. So it makes the business look a bit more attractive to anybody that you're giving the card to. You understand? So that is something. And the thing is, these courses and those relationships exist year round. So no matter what time you're giving out the card, that is applicable. Yeah. Somebody was saying something? Asking a question?
I don't think so.
No. All right. Okay, yeah. So Kendall, if you can just touch it up again, I wouldn't mind seeing it one more time.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments you guys want to make? Darren, you were saying something?
Oh no, I was just saying I wonder if you still had my brochure. That was just it.
Okay, yeah. I'll look for it in a bit. One more thing. Kendall, on yours, right? Is not a major issue, but because the BTC college is a logo by itself, you see how you have it fitting nicely in the ribbon?
Yeah.
Right, it fits there, but now it has two extra rings around it. See that, right? I would probably make the logo big enough to take up this space, or at least fit nicely within the first ring, we don't need to see all of those extra rings. It just makes it a bit more busy, a bit more for your eyes to focus on. You're not quite sure where the edge is. So it could really just be the outer edge of the ribbon, and the BTC College circle could take up almost the entire inner part of the ribbon. Yeah, so it could get a lot bigger. Make sense? You get me, right? Okay. All right. Darren, let me see if I can pull up yours, all right? Just give me 1 minute.
Unless I still have mine too.
Darren, you're saying from your email.
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm seeing it now.
Which email you're looking at?
The Dre.
Okay, yeah.
510, yeah.
Yeah.
First thing I have there for you is one that I sent, and then the other one is okay. I don't have it for some reason. Did you email it to me, or did you bring it on a drive? Because the thing is, I think we were having class on site, so I'm not sure if you had emailed it to me.
It's been a while. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we probably looked at it on your computer.
Yeah.
Rather than if you had emailed it, it would be there.
I know I still have it on my computer. I just need to find it.
All right. Well, what you can do is you can prep it for tomorrow. We meet at 2 o'clock tomorrow as well.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So if you can find it, we can prep it and we can look it over. But any comments, guys, on Kendall's brochure and business cards?
It's really good. I really like it.
Yeah, I like it. One last thing, Kendall. Here, that area right here, I find the information right here.
I've seen it. I've seen your screen. No,
Oh, sorry.
The screen you have is
Let me switch back.
Yeah.
All right. So you see here, specifically the admissions open for, right? It runs pretty close to the edge of the document here and to the fold part here. You see that? In other words, if there's a little misfolding, you're gonna cut off piece of the A here because it's so close to the edge. Now you do want to design for perfection, right? And you want everything to fit exactly as you lay it out. But really and truly, realistically, not every time you're going to achieve a perfect printout. So there, even though you achieve 99% of them perfectly, you might have one or two that might be folded slightly off, right? And you don't want when it's folded off for information to be clipped or missing or distorted in any way. So I would probably just make that smaller, or not even smaller. Probably put the 4 on another line. So you would say admissions open on one line. The 4 can be on one line by itself, and September 21 on another line by itself, and that would work to not make your text run all the way to the edge of the design, right, or the layout. You understand?
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good. I like it. Like I tell you, I think it would need one thing I didn't mention. This is the front of the brochure, right?
Yeah.
This part. Okay. I think the client would like to see their logo represented prominently somewhere at the front. So it could be maybe at the top here above the girl. It could be at the bottom there, but you want to have the logo displayed prominently somewhere where it's not being distracted by the other elements in the image on the front page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you do that, like I tell you, I think you could even submit that, see if VGC will use it. Yeah, get their feedback at this. All right. And then yeah, we'll look at the card again. Joel, you think your stuff will be ready for next class? We'll be able to see it next class?
Yeah, of course.
The next class is supposed to be our final class. So guys, please make a note of any difficulties that you still have in with Photoshop, navigating to Photoshop, creating, editing your documents.
Yeah.
Let me know if you have difficulties understanding any other aspect relating to smart objects, smart filters, non-destructive editing. All right. Put together a note and feel free to send it before the class. So at least if I need to make any preparations, I can do that for you before.
Okay.
All right. But you guys feel confident on your ability to use Photoshop?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Okay. So I have to prepare a list of terms for you to cram.
Okay.
Basically. And I have to send you the link where you can read up about the Creative Commons. All right. Anything else? What else I have to prepare for you guys? Am I missing
Yeah, and
anything?
everybody have to be get your customer.
Okay, so that's basically it, right? And in the next class, hopefully which is our last class, I'm gonna prepare some image editing stuff. We really should spend some more time on it. But I'm gonna prepare some examples for us to do some image editing. I'll also probably send them for you so you can try out on your own. We'll be doing standard image editing, and then I will show you how you would do it using the content-aware options that are available for you. All right?
Okay.
Any other questions before we wrap up?
Not from me, at least.
Yeah, you good, Darren? Sorry, that was a bit of thought. I didn't know what to say.
I say not from me, at least.
All right. Joel, you good? Kendall, you all right?
All right, man.
For this,
Okay. Well, put together your questions, queries, concerns, anything you want me to go over with you, right? If you guys have any that you can send in again, I about to step out and get back in sometime after 8:30. If I'm able to, I can always pop back in tonight and do a short session if you guys have any questions that I can address by then or before then. All right. If not, then we will meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock again and address everything there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's basically it for today. I will see you guys for sure tomorrow. Well, God willing, but hopefully tonight, depending on the situation. So send me any issues that you may have, right? So I can look into it.
All right.
And I'll send a message in the group chat if I can come on later.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you
Talk
too.
soon. All right.